Albert Awol, the voice of the jungle, broadcasting on the DVC to all points unknown. If you're within the sound of my voice, you're listening to Welcome Home Podcast on the DVC.
Hello and welcome home. This episode of Welcome Home is brought to you by DVC Rental Store. Thank you for joining us on episode 351 of Welcome Home, a Disney Parks and Vacation Club podcast. I'm Tom, I'm here with Trevor. How's it going, Trevor?
Hey, pretty good. Guess we should start by wishing all the mothers out there Happy Mother's Day.
Yeah, Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. That's great. We're recording this before Mother's Day, but, you know, if you're listening to this, I hope you had a good Mother's Day.
Exactly. Yeah, because we're doing this early so we can go and, spend time with our mothers and wives and all that stuff. So
surprisingly, there's a fair amount of things to talk about, considering we actually recorded late last week and then early this week, so we had a much shorter window of news to talk about. But there's still a good amount to talk about. We're not gonna talk for too long today, but we got a couple things.
Yeah, Disney has not let up on the news this last week.
They really haven't. Yeah. They really haven't. So, should we just get right into it, Trevor? I know
I don't think there's anything we need to talk about ahead of time. Okay, DVC news.
Yeah, so let's get started with. So they're bringing back Welcome Home weeks for this year, which they had last year, and have been doing the past couple of years now. But there's some pretty good benefits going on here, and so first of all, this is we always say blue card benefit, even though the blue cards are not a thing anymore. But I'm
direct member benefits. So direct versus resale members. And the criteria for a direct member is minimum 150 points now, unless you were grandfathered in from
I was grandfathered.
Yeah, me too. But I guess for anyone curious, we refer to direct membership as blue card membership because direct or membership used to come with a blue card back in the day.
One of my biggest sadnesses. Is that a word? Sadnesses?
Yeah, sadnesses.
I don't know. You know what I mean? But I always bring with me, because I charge everything on my Magic Band, but then I will always have this really skinny wallet that's almost just that I can put a couple cards in my ID just in case I need it, instead of my regular wallet when we're in the parks. And I always kept my blue card in there just as sentimental, I guess, right? Even though it's not really accepted anymore, it's expired. It just was there, right? Well, I can't find that wallet. I lost it after our cruise last year, which also had our Disney redemption card in it. I didn't lose it. It's in my house somewhere. I just don't know where it is.
It's one of these you're gonna find it when you're packing up to move or something.
Well, it's probably in the same place as Magic Bands. Oh, that actually reminds me, Trevor. You're gonna find this hilarious. So you know how I was saying I couldn't find my Magic Band, and I just before the cruise this time. So we were unpacking from the cruise, and my wife opened one of the pockets on my daughter's suitcase. And it was my Magic Bands were in that pocket in the suit. So they were with me the entire time on the trip, unbeknownst to me. So what I did was I have a spare drawer, right, in my closet that was just empty. And I said, from this day forward, this is the Disney drawer, right? So all the Magic Bands go in there. The ponchos, pirate costumes, everything goes in there. That's if we're where's the Disney stuff? It's in that drawer.
That's how you have to do it. I mean, I have my luggage, which has the majority of our stuff, but then we also have a box on a shelf that is the same thing. It's designated as the Disney stuff is in here. If you need to find a Magic Band, it's in here. So
I'm really mad though that it was literally the Magic Band was with us the entire time and I didn't know, because I also swear that I looked in that pocket. I looked in all of the pocket, but I was also sad to figure out that my Magic Band was in that pocket, but the little wallet was not, and I thought they were in the same place, but the little wallet is still eluding me.
Obviously got put in another pocket. You need to start looking in your luggage, man. I think
every time we unpack, I go through every pocket and take everything out, and
Yeah, but I feel like I've done this too, where there's like a weird like pocket dimension that happens sometimes, where it's like
it disappears.
Yeah, like you'll check the same pocket like 5 times, but it's like dug like deep down in the corner. Like you run your hand through it, and you're like, no, I don't feel anything. But it's like if you don't hit that exact corner, you'll never find the thing, right? So
I agree with you because I swear I looked in all the bags and I don't know how I didn't see the magic band. Now, given my wife will tell you, she'd be like, yeah, but like you look for stuff all the time and are looking straight at it and don't say you can't find it. And that's, that's a fair criticism. It's true.
Yeah. I mean, I've done that too, where I'm like, I swear I know where something is, or I see like the last time in my head, I'm like, I know where this was, and then I'll walk by it like 20 times, and then my wife's like, "What are you talking about? It's right here." So
yeah, I know this was an aside, but I know swear it was actually
that's funny that you found them like, or it's always after the fact, right?
Yeah,
so yeah, same thing. Back to the whole blue card thing is the next time you're wanting to find that wallet will be well after you. Whatever you're planning to do.
I'm going to find that wallet if it kills me. Like, I'm going to find it. I know it's somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
None of the cards that are in there mattered to me at this point. We also couldn't find my license after this last trip for a while. Like, we knew it was somewhere within the bags, but we couldn't find it. And it was like, I don't know. I was driving around for a while without a license.
Maybe you shouldn't say that.
It's fine. It's only illegal if you get caught, Trevor.
I guess I don't know about the laws in your area, but I know around here you have, or for like insurance papers and stuff, you have 24 hours to produce them because
just the license was in the car somewhere on the drive back. I just don't know where, but I could have found it if like I was pulled over. But I have it now. I found it. All's well. But anyway, so we're talking about Welcome Home Weeks at one point.
Let's go back to Welcome Home Week.
Yes.
So actually, the big thing that caught me on this, and I don't remember this from last year, but maybe it was this high, is the dining discount is 40% during Welcome Home Weeks.
At 10 resorts. So
at 10 restaurants.
Yes, that's what I meant. Yeah, sorry, restaurants. By the way, this is July 22nd to August 26th, so it's about a month. So up to 40% off at 10 restaurants. We also there's also free ice cream getting distributed at different parts of the resorts and theme parks.
Mm-hmm.
Some details not announced yet.
Yep.
New for this year, members get a free play of the carnival games at Pixar Pier at California Adventure. That's fun.
That's pretty cool. I actually like that a lot.
Yeah, that's cool.
Like, because I don't want to say I'm cheap, but I'm not inclined to spend money on carnival games. I guess I
understand that.
I've spent enough money on carnival games as a kid, and seen like as an adult, see like, oh no, like I do not want to spend $5 on this because it's like 30 seconds of entertainment, and I usually get like the smallest plush animal that you can get. Like I don't do well at carnival games, so it's like,
and like I mean,
a free go round though is like
who's not going to take that? Who's not going to take that? That is one thing I will miss about Dinoland is I did enjoy the carnival games over there, and but to your point, adds up real fast. Like if you do a couple of those, but so that's cool. But then also they're trying to do a couple different Disneyland things here, which is nice. They're also doing a free appetizer when dining at the Disneyland Hotel's Palm Breeze Bar. So okay.
Oh, the other one too is so at the various Walt Disney resorts where they do movies under the stars.
Oh yeah,
they're giving out free candy. So
always a welcome thing.
Yeah, I mean that's cool. Like I don't, or I'm not like taking advantage of those, but usually it's like I'm coming back from the parks and like I'm going to get stuff from quick service or whatever, and you can see, they set up the movies, and kids are usually gathered around, whatever. And it's like throwing free candy into the mix there is nice, but also feels like a very dangerous thing.
Yeah.
Giving a bunch of kids that are, trying to get wound down for the night a bunch of candy as they're sitting down to watch a movie. I mean, yeah, it's
there,
a little bit of chaos.
There are also some special, so they're going to, be giving away the ice cream. There's going to be character experiences. Specifically, it looks like for Disney World at the Boardwalk Atlantic Dance Hall. Which is cool. That's great. It's a good place for it. But yeah, you can go pop into that. There's a bunch of dates for that one. We're not going to go through all the dates, but the Disneyland ones have dates but not locations. So, but then these benefits are also at Vero Beach and Aulani and Hilton Head too, which is great that you can do them at those resorts. I mean, and it makes sense because they're essentially DVC, not DVC only, but the majority of people that are there are members, right? So that's good. And then there's the Welcome Home Wake Up, which I believe isn't it like the coffee? It's like, is that free coffee? I think.
Yeah, it's like
free coffee, right?
Yeah. Sorry, I was just reading the asterisks on that. So it says, Welcome Home Wake Up, and it says, note, coffee events are only open to members with a current reservation at the indicated resort on that date. So
driving all the way to a Disney resort to get a free coffee. Come on.
But here's the thing: is that specifically they are at Bay Lake Tower and Wilderness Lodge in Disney World, and in Disneyland it's at the.
So you have
it's to be determined in Disneyland. So
you have to be at that
World,
resort.
Yeah. So like you can't be like staying at like Saratoga and drive over and get, free coffee from Bay Lake Tower, which like I see why they're being sticky about that, because I could see somebody going like, oh, I'm going to Magic Kingdom anyway. I'll just leave early and pass by Bay Lake Tower and, pick up free breakfast and whatever, and then go to the park.
Yeah.
And it turns it into like, it's unfortunately something that could be very easily abused. So hence why they put the asterisks here that, you have to have a reservation at that resort in order to take advantage of it. So
there's also a wine mixer at Grand Californian and Aulani. There's a mobile order discount of 20%, a one-time use mobile order discount off quick service at Disneyland only.
Interesting.
Yeah. Interesting. They're doing a lot of Disneyland benefits, which I get. I appreciate that they're doing that. And then we also have, so we mentioned the 40% off. So the 40% is really 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 restaurants. And then there's 8, I guess. There's 2 other ones that are 20%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
good.
So the only 2 on this list that are 20% off are Crystal Palace in Magic Kingdom and Be Our Guest in Magic Kingdom. So the ones inside of Magic Kingdom are only a 20% off discount, but I don't recall those having any substantial discount previously. So it's still still better than nothing. But everywhere else, so all these other restaurants, it's a 40% off discount from July 22nd to August 26th. So if you have a trip planned in July or August, I mean, that I would definitely be doing a sit down. Your options are Hollywood and Vine in Hollywood Studios, Tusker House in Animal Kingdom, Beer Garden in Epcot, Tiffin's in Animal Kingdom, Coral Reef in Epcot, Garden Grill in Epcot. Like I said, Crystal Canyon, Be Our Guest in Magic Kingdom, Whispering Canyon at Wilderness Lodge, and was it Trattoria Forno at Boardwalk? I don't know if I pronounced that properly.
You did. You did. That's a really good restaurant, actually.
So I mean that's a great spread of table service restaurants that a 40% off. I mean, that's discount is like that's huge. So
and it's worth noting that some of these are breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Some are just lunch and dinner. Some are just lunch. Some are just dinner. So check before you go. Like Beer Garden, for example, is only lunch. Tiffin's is only dinner. Coral Reef dinner. Garden Grill is actually a huge one because that is a pricey restaurant. To get 40% off of that,
and it's lunch and dinner.
Yeah, that's a big discount.
That would be my pick for sure.
Yeah, that would
but we know that.
I would do that. I do Crystal Palace. I do Whispering Canyon. Trattoria Forno is also really good too. I've been to, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of these. The only ones I haven't been to, I've never been to Hollywood and Vine, believe it or not. I don't know why, just haven't. And then I've never been to Tiffin's.
Yeah, Hollywood Studios is kind of weird for me for dining. I always like I forget that
Sci-fi dining, man.
Well, yeah, between sci-fi and prime time, like those are my two go-tos. So I forget that there is like there's Hollywood and Vine, there's
Brown Derby.
Yeah, thank you, Brown Derby. Like it's like, oh, there is actually way more.
There was Mama Melrose.
Yeah. And I just blank on the fact that there's like other places to eat in Hollywood Studios.
Well,
but
why eat anywhere?
Good reason to remember, right?
Yeah, why eat anywhere besides sci-fi or primetime?
I mean, yeah, it's a matter of timing and all that. But I mean, this is enough for me to go like, the next time, if I was going during this time and, I'm looking at options, I would actually consider dropping, one of those other two restaurants for Hollywood and Vine because like that's a pretty huge discount. And Hollywood and Vine actually is one of the few that is breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yes,
it's all day long, 40% off.
Actually, I think it's the only one that's breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
I thought there was oh, you're right. Yeah, you're right. It's the only one. Yeah,
because it's weird how they have this broken out, right? So like breakfast, lunch, and dinner at Hollywood and Vine, but Trattoria El Forno is breakfast and dinner, no lunch there. Some are just lunch, some are lunch and dinner. It's all over the map.
Whispering Canyon is brunch and dinner.
Okay.
Like, okay.
Sure. I mean, do they have a breakfast part or is it just brunch and dinner there, though? You know what I mean? Like, maybe that's technically all day, right? So, I don't know. But yeah, listen, those are big discounts. If you're there during that month, that's a really, really good thing to do. So,
yeah.
Speaking of member benefits, Trevor. Oh, sorry, I was moving on.
I was going to say that's. I mean that's a pretty nice incentive to get people coming over the summer months. But yeah, like you said, in other member related stuff, there are member previews coming.
Yeah. So the two different things, right? We got the Rock and Roller Coaster one, and we got the Soarin' Across America one. For Soarin' Across America will debut on May 26th, but they're going to do the pass holder preview on the 19th and the 20th. And then DVC, there will be one as well. But and this is DVC News is reporting that it's going to be May 21st. This is going to be a 1 day.
It's not officially announced, but they seem to believe, it will be May 21st for that preview.
Interestingly enough, there's no registration required for pass holders or for DVC. I guess you just get to show up.
I mean, I guess they're assuming people will just show up and show your card and,
didn't you have to register for these things? I feel like, am I wrong about this?
I feel like for bigger things like land previews and stuff, yes, but because this is a ride and because it's very easy to control who's coming in and out of the ride, I feel like they can just do the show up and flash your card. And, that I don't imagine that there will be enough people, and especially because they're actually splitting pass holders and DVC.
Yeah.
I feel like it's easy enough for them to just, do it at the gate. Right.
Yeah.
So.
And by the way, so around almost the exact same time for Rock and Roller Coaster starring the Muppets, that's going to be happening May 21st to the 23rd for pass holders, and then May 24th for DVC owners. So that's a really good week for previews if you're there.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? I mean, and there's a bunch of stuff opening, of course. But you're also, if you're there, it's going to be a busy week anyway. So
yeah, that's the thing is that it's like I would consider going for these previews, but like, again, for me personally, I'm usually like, I travel in May, but I'm usually like, I will try and make sure I'm going before the May long weekend, because exactly for that is like, once May long weekend hits, it gets really crazy. So I would much rather, or I would always miss these because I would be there like a week before.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, also, so just to differentiate a little bit here, the Rock and Roller Coaster one will require registration for pass holders. So yeah, it's
interesting. I love the consistency of this.
Yeah. So but they're doing virtual queue. So it's not really registration. They're doing virtual queue. So
right.
Which is interesting, but also I get it, because if you look at it this way, Soarin' is one of those things that never completely shuts down because they have the separate theaters, right? So they lose one theater, they got another one. Whereas Rock and Roller Coaster, that shuts down, the whole thing's down, right? So I think they do the virtual queue system because they're expecting that they're gonna have issues because they always do. And it's not like they replaced the ride system here. It's still the Rock and Roller Coaster ride system. So they're gonna have, those kinds of issues and gonna need some downtime. But Soarin', it's like, like I said, one theater goes down, you got another one, right? It's not, it's not like the whole ride shuts down. So yeah, makes sense to me.
Yeah. I thought I saw again. This is probably falling into rumor land, but I thought I saw that when Rock and Roller Coaster opens up, they weren't planning to do like any kind of
that's later in the rundown.
Is it?
Yeah, it's later in the rundown. But
you did get that in here. Okay.
You jumped ahead. It's okay.
Sorry.
We're allowed to jump ahead.
I didn't realize you had added that to the rundown. I honestly had not looked that far ahead.
It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah. Okay, we'll come back to that. So stay tuned.
Yeah.
I guess since we're talking about roller coasters, one thing we didn't talk about last week is Big Thunder opening back up again.
Yeah, and I'm actually kind of glad we did because it ended up being a fairly eventful day.
Yeah, I mean, with the the track starting on fire. It wasn't the track; it was the brake system.
It was the brakes,
yeah. And it was just funny that immediately people were trying to cover it as like, oh my gosh,
oh my gosh,
Big Thunder, it's the
disastrous opening.
Well, what was the one that I saw? It was like Orlando's newest roller coaster starts on fire, and I'm like,
really?
What?
Yeah, that's how we're doing this now. Yeah,
it just opened up again, but it's not new, and it's like, yes, they did maintenance and they replaced pieces of track and whatever, but it's also like, honestly, I think it's more that the brakes were just being they were new and they were being overused and they overheated, and I mean.
Yeah. We don't even know if they were actually on fire, right? Like I don't think they've actually said anything about that, right?
I saw a video where they were like, they actually had fire extinguishers out and they were like,
but that doesn't mean it was on fire. It could have just mean it was smoking, and they just sprayed it down just to spray it down. I don't think I've seen anything where I saw actual fire. But not a great look, but still, to your point, Trevor, like half of the blogs were like, what was the one that was in the Discord? It was like disastrous opening day for Big Thunder. By the way, it was open again like 2 hours later. Come on.
Also, to put that in perspective, so the first day the lineup for Big Thunder went all the way back to Liberty Square. So if you know the pathing around Rivers of America or the under construction area now. That's a really long line just to get to Big Thunder. But from what I heard, I saw the next couple of days, people saying, or I saw some videos of like people rope dropping Big Thunder and getting on there immediately. And they're not being like, there was still lineups, but it was much more normal.
Yeah, it's always the worst on the first day, right? I mean, that's how it is.
And I understand the irony of saying this as, we are a podcast talking about Disney and whatnot, but the main reason for the lineup being so long for the first day seemed to be all the vloggers and Disney Disney influencers, that community trying to get their first take on it, right? Well, or get their first video out, get the exclusive and all that. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not hating on them for that because I understand, they're trying to compete in, frankly, what's an oversaturated market.
Yeah.
But it does create a weird perception of like, a lot of people were kind of like, the track fire and everything. Like, it made it sound like, oh my God, this opened up and it's already over capacity. And,
like,
what are we like? What's Disney doing about it? And it's like nothing because it was just people buying into hype. Like,
it's, we're not part of the selfie stick crowd, right? Like that's not how that's not what we do. So
I learned my lesson on that years ago. I had a selfie stick at one point and a GoPro and all that. And I eventually realized that, yes, there is something to be said for capturing, memories with your kids and stuff. I mean, I guess I was never using it for the sake of like starting a vlog or like, trying to put my video out there before other people, which the other thing that was funny too is that the day that Big Thunder opened, Disney did put out a ride through video like first thing in the morning. So
they did.
They were already like
they were on top of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which it's about time they got on top of that, because like there were so many videos of rides, and there still are. It's not like they've ended that, but the fact that they started doing it themselves, to kind of like have the official video, and of course it's the best video, right? Because they can attach cameras to the ride vehicles and things like that. Did you watch the ride through, Trevor? Because I know you're spoiler averse, but this is Big Thunder, so
yeah. And this actually, I did actually watch a ride through video this time because my curiosity got to me over it, and also the fact that I'm not. Or, I don't have an immediate trip coming up. I was like, well, I could try and avoid this for like the next year, but that's not going to work. Like it's just, I'll end up seeing it by accident someday. So I was like, you know what? I'll just sit down and watch it. I have to say, in terms of, I was hoping for them to give it the same treatment that they did the Disneyland,
at the end
version.
The end scene.
They didn't. I mean, they did something different, and I get how it plays into the lore of this Big Thunder, because every Big Thunder has their own story technically, and this one is very much like a gold rush thing, and they played into that. The thing that I noticed was that they did a lot of lighting tricks with it, but there wasn't a lot of substance beyond that. And I don't want to say like, I'm not trying to say that I feel like they did like the cheapest low bar thing to improve it, which is just, fixing lighting. I think it was, somebody made a choice, and, I also get, redoing a ride like this, with all the other stuff they're doing, they probably didn't have the budget to do extra effects and stuff like that they did in the Disneyland one, because there are extra effects going on in Disneyland. So yeah, it's unfortunately it's still not the best version of Big Thunder in my opinion.
I get that. I mean, listen, the first scene though, the Rainbow Cavern scene is very cool.
Like, you're right. And that's the thing. Like, I don't want like I'm just comparing finales, I guess, is the thing. Like my statement is entirely around the final lift hill, which is the finale of the ride. I feel like it could have been better. It's like I said, it's nice, and it's kind of like it's a neat little thing that they did with how they lit it up and everything. But you're right, the Rainbow Cavern stuff at the beginning, and the bats and everything, and the bats, very cool. Yeah,
extremely cool. And I mean, listen, this was a full teardown, right? Like they replaced all of the track. This is all brand new track, all new trains. All the broken effects that were there, they fixed all the broken stuff. They, redid the little town that's, that's in the middle of the ride there. They repainted all the I mean, like I understand what you're saying, Trevor, because they added extra things, but they also spent a lot of time just redoing the basics, right? Like, I mean,
but like I said, in Disneyland, they did this, or it was the same thing. Like they did a bunch of fix-ups to the ride, but then did the finale to it. Like you said, we're not comparing apples to apples here. It's just, like I said, I think my problem was my expectations were a bit higher because of the Disneyland version. And you're right. It's not fair to diminish all the work that they did, because they did do a lot of work. And I don't want to sound like I'm nitpicking just, the
but do you really want him to have the same finale though? Like I think it's I kind of like that they have different finales.
Yeah. You're right. But I guess my only wish, I guess, would have been that maybe they could have done, like, it was entirely a lighting thing. I feel like they could have done something like, even like utilizing projection mapping or something. Like it just, it feels,
well, you're also watching videos. You're also watching videos though. So I think once when you experience these things in person, it is a little different than watching video, but
true.
Yeah. So I thought it overall looked really good. Although I will say my worst fears about this were confirmed, and which is that because it's a brand new track, you kind of lost the craziness of it, of like the feeling like you're going to fly off the thing. I've seen a couple people mention this, and it's funny because when I watched the official ride through, Trevor, I'm watching it and I'm like, oh, this is really smooth now. Like, because you could tell, like, the camera wasn't shaking at all. And I know it was literally like, attached to the ride vehicle, but you would at least see some vibration or something. But it was literally so smooth that there was not a single vibration. And I'm like, I
cameras do have stabilizers. I will say that. I know,
yeah. but it's not just that. I've read accounts of this now. Several people have said this in like reviews of it, and it's interesting because I feel mixed about it, right? Because part of me feels like the story and the ride itself, like that out of control feeling of it, where, like I said, it feels like you could go flying off the tracks at any time, to me was part of the ride, right? And like if you change Space Mountain to not be like, to make you need to see a chiropractor after every trip, I don't think anyone cares, right? Because like that doesn't matter for the story of Space Mountain to me, right? Like you can have a smooth coaster for Space Mountain, but I don't know, part of Big Thunder to me was that out of control feeling. And I've seen a bunch of people now describing it as like being as smooth as like Seven Dwarfs, right? Which that's
okay.
Yeah. And I also at the same time understand that, listen, when you put in brand new tracks and have brand new trains, of course it's going to be smooth, right? Like,
yeah. I mean, I guess maybe part of what you were talking about is, over time, pieces or, the connectors on the tracks will, slightly warp, right? Like they don't like completely disconnect, but you'll get like I feel like what you're talking about is that like you can almost feel like every time you hit a section, like it's kind of bumpy. Almost, and
it's like you're vibrating, you're shaking, you're like it's.
Which I mean, maybe it's a matter of, like you said, right now it's incredibly smooth, but give it a couple of months, give it a year of time, see how it's actually
that
like
Florida sun on there,
let it cook for a little bit, and maybe it'll be back to what you were expecting.
It's the wildest ride in the wilderness, Trevor. You got to have it be wild, right? It can't feel like Seven Dwarfs.
It still looks wild. I mean, it's not I know, like, I know you're saying like it's smooth as Seven Dwarfs. The sections of track that, made the car like, it still has those pieces to it where it kind of like shoots left, dips down, or like the trick track by the little town and stuff like that. Like that's all still there. It's just I think it's a lot of the wear on the track maybe that you were used to is not there, and that's why it feels jarring.
Yeah, well, and that's kind of what got me in the video they put out with the Imagineers riding it, because they're just having like a casual conversation as they're on the ride, like, you know what I mean? Like there was no like time where they stopped for a second and went like, woo, like literally they just were like, yeah, so we worked on this part, and it's like they could have been anywhere, like it was like barely affecting them in any way, I don't know, it just
I would argue, how many times do you think they actually rode that ride?
Probably a lot. That's fair. It's a fair argument. You're right. But I just am glad to see the effects back, and even like the steam pipe, was with the steam coming out of the the station area, like the geyser, all that stuff that like are things that weren't working for a long time. And also, like I said, I think the Rainbow Cavern in the beginning looks amazing. The bats look great. The end scene I want to see in person, because I think from what I've read, there are more effects there that don't exactly come through very well in video. Like, so I think you can like see the veins of gold and stuff like that. And it doesn't come great. Like kind of like the new test track where like it looks cool in video, but apparently in person is even cooler.
There's tiny little nuance that doesn't show up on camera. And also I think there is an audio aspect to it as well. I think that.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Again, does like audio cues and stuff, especially when it's like spatial sound that is like meant to be, coming from various places, especially in like a ride like that, you watch them on video, and, anything coming through YouTube is, it's monodirectional. It's not, you're missing some of the audio texturing is the best way you can describe it. So
I saw a lot of people commenting on how incredible the new trains look, and how like they they're brand new, but they made them look old, and but they still are really, really cool. I'm glad to see my favorite Disney ride ever getting some love. That makes me happy. So, and I'm excited to ride it again. But I'm kind of sad that I really want to go and ride it. But
yeah, no, I mean, me too. I'm excited to see, by the time I get back to Disney World, there's going to be a lot of stuff that's changed. And,
sure.
And I guess what I'm going to be wondering is, from what I've seen of Big Thunder now to I'm wondering what it'll be like in a year. And if it'll I guess nobody really talks about that. There's the initial opening impression, wow, it looks so great. And it's yeah, but how does it sit after a year? Right.
How does it hold up? Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't mean hold up. I mean, just how do the same way that it got to the point where things were broke down over time. It's you kind of don't realize how much can happen to a ride in a year. Right.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. So I'll have to try and remember this when I'm getting on Big Thunder the next time is how much of everything that we talked about will it feel the same or different or because even after a year, if it still feels
smooth,
then it's well, yeah, I mean, maybe those tracks were more foregone than I realized.
We'll have to see. That's always the thing of, the Imagineers made it look great. Okay, now keep it that way. Maintain it, right?
That's the true challenge. Is doing these fix-ups is one thing, but them actually having a plan to keep it intact is way more of a lift than you realize, especially because of the fact that Florida is just consistently humid, right?
It's just a brutal environment to live and have anything outdoors.
Yeah.
It's just, Disney's constantly having to repaint stuff because it just gets cooked by the sun, Yeah.
Sun and humidity is a great way to break things down.
Yeah. That should just be Florida's slogan, sun and humidity. That's
yeah.
Anyway,
did we want to do the ad now?
Let's do the ad, and then we'll talk. There's a couple other things in here, and then we can get out of here.
This week, our sponsor is DVC Rental Store, which is a keyholder vacation company that offers magical vacations at an incredible value. Save up to 60% off retail rates at premium Disney resorts. DVC Rental Store now includes deposits as low as 25% of the time of booking and a built-in cancellation policy for every reservation. And as always, DVC Rental Store pays out the most to members looking to rent their points. Want to learn more? Go to dvcrentalstore.com/welcome home or call 1-855-DVC-RENT. That's 382-7368. And when you speak to them, be sure to let them know that Welcome Home sent you.
All right. So we are going to have some Bluey going on here sometime soon at Walt Disney World.
So you wanted to see Bluey stuff at Disney World, and you got your wish, but it's a monkey's paw wish.
We're going to get more. This is just the beginning. I'm actually surprised we haven't heard more because this is not that far away. This is a couple weeks now. And I was talking to my wife about this because this is, we talked about the hot mess of what happened at Disneyland. And I mean, it continues to be an extraordinarily popular experience there, and they've had to make a lot of changes. But now imagine that you had to take a train to get there. So that's really what the fun's going to be at Disney World, but that's okay. It's not going to be a while till we go, but we are getting a little preview, and I'm assuming we're going to get more very soon here. So, but this is just the first part, which is one of the food items, and they are doing different food items. At least this one is different than what we have at Disneyland. And again, staying true to the show, they were doing a riff on fairy bread, which is, I actually didn't know what this was until Bluey.
Yeah, I've heard of this. I actually didn't realize exactly what it was either, which honestly, it sounds like the proper version sounds amazing.
Yes.
But Disney's doing their own take on it. But
of course,
so for anyone who doesn't know what fairy bread is, it's sliced bread with butter or margarine on it, coated in hundreds and thousands, which is sprinkles. So like rainbow sprinkles, right? I love that they call them hundreds and thousands.
Yes. Yeah. Basically rainbow sprinkles. It's basically sprinkles and butter on bread. That's literally what it is.
Which sounds awesome. I wish I had thought of that. And I would have done that as a kid. I just never thought of that for some reason. But yeah, so Disney's doing their own version,
of course,
which looks to be vanilla birthday cake dipped in white chocolate with rainbow sprinkles and a raspberry dipping sauce. So that's a much more bougie version of
much thicker too.
Yeah.
It's a big thick piece of bread, but it's cool how they did it because it looks like it's a piece of bread. I mean, it's it's really well done, and it's cut into a triangle. It's got crusts. So this is going to be available at Pizzafari, a place I haven't gone to in a while.
I forget that Pizzafari exists.
Poor Pizzafari. What did Pizzafari ever do?
But to be fair, okay, let's be honest. Okay, back to the discussion of eating at, like, I have certain places that I go in each park that I've established as like I like this place. I've eaten at other places in Animal Kingdom. But Flame Tree, Tree just like it lives rent free in my head.
It does, yeah.
And so it's like, knowing that there's like Pizzafari, even like Yak and Yeti. I like Yak and Yeti as well. Like they have like you can get the quick service stuff from there and everything too. But it's like there's a part of me that's like when we're standing in there, I'm like, I'm hungry, and before my head can even say like, where do we want to eat? It's like, I'm hungry. We're going to Flame Tree. Like it just skips the question entirely, right? So unfortunately, going to Pizzafari is like, this poor fairy bread cake. I think they need to offer this at Flame Tree as well, or else I'm never going to eat it. But I will say, I do actually want to go get some bread and just
make fairy bread now.
just makes. I mean, I have all the other stuff to make fairy bread. I just need I don't have any bread or I don't have sliced bread at the moment. Or actually, sorry, I do, but it's sourdough. I don't think you want sourdough for this. Yeah.
No, that's not the proper bread for this. You just like
white bread. Yeah.
This is have you seen this? I know this is an aside, but okay. First of all, I agree with you, by the way, on Flame Tree. Animal Kingdom has a lot of great food. They really do. There's a lot of really good food. I mean, because like if you go over to like Pandora, that quick serve is really good. Like you said, Yak and Yeti's really good. And you have the Flame Tree is. Like I said, I think it's the best. The only problem you have with Flame Tree is the aggressive birds over there, because the birds also realize that Flame Tree is the best.
So they actually weren't there when we were there last time, which was
they finally figured that one out.
Well, because I think what happened was they actually had some prevention going on, that because we talked about it like years ago.
They put up nets and stuff.
Yeah, they put up nets, and they actually had dogs that were like trained to chase those birds away. But then also, that we did talk about that on one of the episodes. It was like right before COVID. But then what also happened was COVID happened. So that whole area was not a place to get food because there was nobody there. So a lot of the birds moved on. And I don't know that it's ever come back to like super aggressive birds in that area. I could be wrong, I guess. Like I said, I haven't been there. I haven't been there recently, but yeah.
We've fallen victim to the birds there. We had a bird come and jump on our table and take our food. Like, it happened to me. Yeah. It happens all the time there. So literally they replace it immediately. So it was not that big of a deal, but it scared the heck out of my dog.
Well,
but yeah,
I can tell you if a bird came and stole my fairy bread, they'd be having to clean up a bird.
One of the things I wanted to ask you though, Trevor, have you seen this cookie dough brownie ice cream sandwich thing that they have going on at Animal Kingdom that's gone like super viral?
Cookie dough brownie ice cream sandwich.
Have you heard about this?
I've not actually.
Okay,
how did I miss this?
I don't know, but I'll send you a link. I got a link.
I'm gonna look. Yeah,
I got you a link. But this has been, apparently this has gone very viral, and which I'd seen it, but not because it went viral. I don't, do social media, so I didn't see it anywhere on there, but I know this has gotten like extremely popular. And it's, I mean, it's exactly what it sounds like. There's cookie dough on the top, there's ice cream in the middle, there's a brownie on the bottom. It looks amazing, and I must eat it.
That's actually kind of insane. I didn't think like when you say it was a sandwich, I assumed like the brownie had everything sandwiched in between, using the cookie dough and the brownie as like the top and the bottom. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, that would be. I would fight a bird for that.
Yeah, I would absolutely fight a bird for that. I would elbow a bird in the face for that.
You're not taking this from me. But
no, definitely not. I think somebody in the Discord had put in their had mentioned this at some point that they tried this, and it was, we're talking about how great it was. But I might be making that up. But I mean, how could it not be great? Look at the thing. But yeah. I know we just again went off really on a tangent here, but we're talking about Animal Kingdom food, right? And we're gonna have this new fairy bread now.
Fairy bread, yes, they're gonna have fairy bread, and it like I said, the fairy bread looks great, but
it does.
But I will say this: I know that they're, Disney is looking at this, and they even said they're doing their own take on fairy bread because, I understand the point of, sometimes there are snacks or treats or stuff in different countries that don't translate well between cultures. But I feel like if you had handed kids, a slice of bread with some hundreds and thousands on it and some butter, I feel like it would work. But then also, I guess for Disney's prices, people would go like, you charge me $6 for this or what? Like, so, I mean, yeah, I guess I understand why that they're trying to make it a little bit extra, and I guess in Disney fashion, they're making it, special. Yeah,
I appreciate they plussed it. They plussed it
exactly. Yeah,
yeah. So it's I'm happy with that. I'm interested to see what the rest of it is going to be. And I'm sure we'll talk about it when that comes out. I'm going to bet next episode we're going to have that. We don't have it now, but I would be surprised if they don't say anything before that. So,
yeah.
But anyway, yeah, this is a good start. I'm excited to see what the merch looks like too. But yeah. Anything else on that, or you want to move on?
No, I think we can circle back on Bluey later, like you said.
I have to tell you, Trevor, have you been looking at the pictures of all the painting they did at Rock and Roller Coaster for the new Muppets thing? Because it just looks really cool now.
I've been catching bits and pieces of it. So yeah like I've seen the guitar is visible again, and the car that is over top of the entrance to the courtyard where Rock and Roller Coaster is. I know they said it's been repainted. I mean, it looks. It's still that same red. It's just they've added to it.
Yeah,
right?
They made it all like Muppety,
like very tie-dye looking. Yeah.
And listen, the guitar looks awesome too, though. I mean, the whole thing looks really cool. But I did think it was interesting that they're not going to do a virtual queue for this. Because you think that's just because because it's an existing ride? I mean, I don't know. It's weird to me they're doing a virtual queue for the preview, but not for the opening.
Yeah, I'm thinking back as far as virtual queues go, because Rise doesn't have a virtual queue anymore right now either, does it?
No, I think they institute it when it's like super busy, but I can't remember the last time they did.
Yeah, I have to wonder if and actually, I guess now that I'm thinking about it, virtual queues have been just kind of fading out over time anyway.
They have,
like it's not anything exclusive to this ride or because it's an existing ride reopening. I feel like again, this is just my take and my speculation on it. I know, using the virtual queue system over the last couple of years, I feel like, lightning lanes have kind of replaced the virtual queue system because it's like, if it's something that you really want to do, you lightning lane it, but the virtual queue thing, you know, it stops people from, you know, excessive lines from forming in the park for standbys and everything. I feel like though that Disney realized that the virtual queue comes with its own problems.
Yeah.
Because it turns it into this game of like, you got to be up at like 5 o'clock in the morning, you know, refreshing the app. And if you lose out, like it actually creates more of a far more negative experience than I think people realize, because it's like, if you miss out on that virtual queue, you're not before you even start your day, your hopes and dreams are dashed. Right? Like that's ruined. Yeah, that's kind of what it was that's like, if you missed a virtual queue, it was like, oh, try again tomorrow. No, or like you might, you know, there might be a 1 o'clock virtual queue for some rides, but it was like, if you're busy, you know, if you're not paying attention, well, you missed that too. Well, sorry. Whereas like standby lines are a lot more like, yes, it may get busy, and like you said, you know, for certain times a year, you know, the virtual queue may make sense, but I feel like Disney is trying to. I feel like virtual queue might have been a bit of a failed experiment, honestly.
I liked virtual queues personally. I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but I liked it. But
yeah,
I understand why people didn't too. Like, I get it.
I'm more happy to do, like, I know the lightning lane thing is like, it's the same thing. Like, it, you know, you're still like having to play that game of like, you know, getting into the queue fast enough to get what you want and all that kind of stuff. But I feel like when there was just the virtual queue on rides, there was no opportunity for like, if you missed any kind of window, it was like, you're just never getting on this. Where at the very least, you know, having a standby queue is like, oh, well, you know, yeah, I didn't get my virtual queue, but you know, I can weigh whether or not I spend an hour, you know, waiting in line or whatever.
You could make the cynical argument here, which is that they're not doing it because they want more people to buy Lightning Lane.
Yeah, I mean that's fair too. And actually, I guess this is something I don't know that has been covered or not, is because this is reopening, what I actually expected they would have done is put this into the individual lightning lanes. I don't know if we've heard any confirmation or denial of that, because previously the lightning lane for this was just under the multipass one.
Yeah.
So I actually have to wonder if it'll get its own lightning lane potentially.
That's a good question. I'm just pulling up the website now.
Yeah, I've not seen any. You know, people talked about the virtual queue and everything, but I mean, I think the bigger question is, you know, would they not give this its own lightning lane?
They're not doing a single, according to the website right now. It's part of the multipass. Because it even says Rock and Roller Coaster starring the Muppets. So it's from the choose one bucket, right? It's the tier one. So it's Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, Smuggler's Run, Rock and Roller Coaster, or Slinky Dog Dash you get to pick from, and then everything else after.
I mean, that's like half the park. Like,
yeah, the rest of the stuff is pretty much shows.
The only other one that's not on that, or I mean, there's Star Tours and there's Tower of Terror. So it's like
and Toy Story. So those are the three probably.
Okay, right? Yeah, sorry. Yeah, Midway Mania. Yeah.
So I mean, if I were gonna do this, you know, you'd go with one of those, and then with Star Tours and Toy Story for me. But they're not doing single lightning lane for this. It looks like.
Yeah, I guess also back to the point of virtual queue. I feel the other thing about virtual queue is that if the area is not equipped to handle a lot of people, I also see where they could maybe justify virtual queue. Like, I know it's it's going to be busy, but they actually have quite a lot of space. Like the queue for Rock and Roller Coaster is quite large. It has a lot of space already, or it was designed originally with a good amount of space. And that courtyard is quite large. And even the area leading out of the courtyard, it's very easy to manage a large queue there. And
it's all the way on the like the corner of the park. It's like tucked away, so it's not going to cause like traffic problems, you know.
And kind of back to the point of, you know, we were just talking about with Big Thunder, you know, there's going to be that like first day rush of, you'll see guaranteed when this opens up the first day, it'll be like, oh my God, the line was already back to, whatever Hollywood or what's the main road called? I can't remember.
You're putting me on the spot here. Is it Hollywood Boulevard?
Yeah, I think they call it Hollywood Boulevard, but yeah, like, imagine like, oh my gosh, the queue's already all the way back there the first day. It's like, yeah, but kind of to the same point of with the Big Thunder stuff, it's like people are going to be doing their, day one vlogs of the ride. And then, I would be more curious, like, one day of surge against it. And then, it's not that the ride will go back to just like how it was before. It'll be busy, but I don't see it being enough that, I don't think it's justified having a virtual queue. Like, I don't think the ride is going to be that huge that it needs, like, it's not going to be like Guardians where it's like, they need to have a virtual queue for it, right? Like,
yeah, I get that.
Yeah. So, yeah, like you said, it's an interesting choice, but like I said, the virtual queue thing surprises me less. I'm honestly surprised that they didn't adjust lightning lanes ahead of time. Because, like, yeah, to your point, like, they have it right now in the verbiage on the multipass lightning lane, but they could have taken it out like, months ago and made it its own thing.
It says Rock and Roller Coaster starring the Muppets on the site. So they did update it. So obviously they would have taken it out of there if they thought.
Exactly my point. Like I'm surprised that wasn't the play. And like, it sounds like they're just assuming that it'll be busy for a little bit, but it'll just kind of fall back in line with everything else. Cause it's not like, I mean, it's not a new ride. It's, people know the ride and people are going to go to check out the changes and everything,
and people do love the Muppets.
Yeah,
we should mention that.
But I guess, like, I don't think Rock and Roller Coaster is going to pull the kind of numbers ever that Guardians or Rise or any of those other rides are pulling. Because it's still like a 20-year-old roller coaster, right?
Yeah.
So
I wanna correct something really quick. I said it was Hollywood Boulevard. It's Sunset Boulevard.
Thank you. Yeah,
Hollywood.
I knew it was something like
Hollywood Boulevard is the other street that's right before it. Yeah,
yeah. I was thinking Hollywood and Vine for some the restaurant, but I was like, I knew it was something like Hollywood related, and I couldn't remember what it was. But
it's funny because I feel like sometimes people listen, and I know there's definitely people yelling at their radio or whatever they're listening to, like in the car, and like it's Sunset Boulevard. It's like, okay, yeah, but it was obviously. But, listen, when you do this, and I think anyone that has ever done one of these before understands it, sometimes you just can't think of this stuff on your feet. It's hard,
I try to be good. Like, I can visualize it in my head, but I don't have, like, I know the names of these things, but it's not always on the tip of my tongue.
It's harder than you think it is to be right all the time about stuff. Because, I remember we got that review.
I'm never right about things.
We try to be right, and we do. Yeah. We try really hard to give correct information at all times. And if I don't give correct information, we change it or we correct it. But it's hard. Honestly, you just say stuff sometimes, and it's like you don't really think about it. So I just, it's funny to me though, because I think if you haven't done this before and been in this kind of like. Not that there's pressure doing this, we're fine. We're, like it's not like but it is in a way,
It's the stream of thought. Like it's a stream of consciousness thing that it's like, it's very hard to like pull facts in when you're in the middle of like
a thought,
like a whole like, train of thought, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, so I hope everybody understands that. We do try our best, but it is what it is. So anyway. What else are we talking about here, Trevor?
Let's talk about some Disney Springs news, because we've been talking about the parks here for a bit, and there is some stuff coming at Disney Springs over the summer.
There's really only two things I want to talk about here, because
there's really only one thing I want to talk about.
Level 99, of course. Yes. Level 99, which is something we talked about a while ago when they announced it, and it is actually happening this summer. So, and this is like a bunch of mini games and challenges. So it's 60 plus life-size mini games. And I think we jokingly were calling this Disney Quest 2.0, right? But
I wouldn't say jokingly. I would say I'm wishing that this would be Disney Quest 2.0. But
the problem with this is, Trevor, though, we say that, but this is like, I don't know. These are like physical challenges, and everybody in here is like, 20 years younger than me. So
But I mean, Disney Quest had a lot of physical stuff. Like that raft game was no joke.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true. But this is like, running through swinging axes.
Yeah, or it looks like there's like a little maze.
Yeah,
thing, and there's something here with it looks like pipes. There's
something with pipes. They only show the outside, not the inside. Yeah. Can you just like walk in and out of these rooms as you please? Like, how does this work? That's
a good question. Oh, is that a laser? That looks like a laser floor.
Yeah, like when they're jumping in the air there. Yeah. I don't know what that is, but again, that looks like I'm going to break an ankle.
Sorry, we're a Disney show, but this reminds me of the first Resident Evil movie, and if you know what I'm talking about, I'll just leave it there. But yeah.
I don't, but is the axe, the swinging axes? Is that what you're referring to?
No, it's the laser, the room with where they're jumping over the lasers. There's a laser room in the first Resident Evil movie, and it's not PG. So
gotcha.
That's why I don't want to. Yeah,
I do feel like the swinging axe thing is, going to be the thing that everybody wants to do, right? Because like
the way that they're portraying this, it doesn't look. Or like, the one picture where like the girl is like standing in between the axes, kind of looking like, oh, I don't know what to do. Like it doesn't make it look
difficult.
Like they just look like they're going to be like light foam axes on a stick that don't really do anything.
I would find a way to get injured here. But listen, this place looks cool. I definitely would like to check it out. I'm interested to see, and I know they have other locations, so I'm sure I could actually find out how they operate at other locations. Like, do you just pay one price and then you go to whatever rooms? Is there like do you have to pick a certain amount of rooms? Like, how does it work? Right. And that's really what I'm interested, and how that's going to work. But, it looks cool to me. I love places like this. I love there's a lot of rooms that are like puzzles. So like that would be more my kind of thing, is the puzzles. The physical stuff I can try, but I'm telling you right now, I'm going to get wrecked by one of those axes like immediately. Like there's no coordination that I have enough to even walk across this beam, Trevor, let alone do it without getting hit by an axe. So
see, I absolutely love this stuff. And I feel, I agree with you that, I would get wrecked by some of these things, but I'm just overconfident enough in my own abilities to like do these kinds of games and stuff like this. And I've done I've done things like this. Like we've had places, this is by and far the most complex one I've seen, but like there's been family play centers that I've taken my son to when he was younger that had like a similar vibe to this, right? But I think the difference is, my son was younger, I was younger too. I get what you're saying, that like I would look at it and be like, yeah, I can get across this, and then my body halfway through would betray me, and and I mean it would be I would probably end up moving the wrong way and like throw my back out.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's what's going to happen to me.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we did, I told you about this. We did a thing called Beat the Bomb, which was kind of similar, where you're like doing like rooms like this. And there was like a room that was like a, Mission Impossible kind of like lasers everywhere room. And you had to go through the lasers. And I swear to you, I've never felt older in my life trying to get through those lasers, man. I was just like, I'm going to die. This is over. But this place is clearly targeted towards like 20 somethings, like for sure. Cause there's like a 2-story bar, and there's like Wagyu burgers and handcrafted cocktails and that kind of stuff. Like it's very much like a 20 something hipstery kind of place, but I'm cool with that. I don't mind that. I think it's neat. So, but I do. Is there anything else you want to say about that? Because I wanted to talk about the next thing just a little bit.
No, I found a short of. It looks like another level 99.
Because they have a couple of locations, I think, right?
Yeah,
at least one.
So yeah, you can, if you search it up, you can find shorts that it looks like the same kind of stuff that they're previewing on the page here. Which like to your point is it looks like it would be fine. But like the axe swinging thing, like you're on like a balance beam, which Yeah, I mean, I guess how good's your balance?
Not good. Not good at all. But yeah, I mean, like a lot of these look kind of physical, but some, oh my god, like I'm watching a video actually on their site. They just have like a video playing of all the crazy stuff they got there. So
yeah,
this looks really interesting. But you know, some of these things I think I would, you know, like you said, throw my back out, I'd twist an ankle. But anyway,
so stretch it. If you're going to go in there, make sure you stretch.
Yeah, that's right. Do a little stretch beforehand.
Yeah.
Right. The other thing though is there's a new restaurant coming to Disney Springs called Six Ravens. And this is by the people that brought us Gideon's, which, you know, if you haven't been to Gideon's, they have really good cookies. But I just love Gideon's kind of like, I love the owner's style, like just the artistic, you know, things that they do. It's so cool and gothic. And
yeah, I was going to say it's very gothic, and honestly, it feels, and I know you don't have the frame of reference for this, but it feels like Dark Universe in Epic Universe.
Okay.
Like I mean, Dark Universe it's extremely gothic, but this is falling in that same, that, like you said, that same kind of like,
well, they also
fantasy setting, right?
Yeah.
Like it's
this is continuing the theme of the Bakehouse, which existed before Dark Universe, right? Like because Gideon's like has a very similar style to this, and so yeah, it's called Six Ravens, and they're specializing in grab and go hand pies, and they're
called coffins.
Called coffins, yeah. And
spelled COFFYNS, by the way.
Of course, because of course, why not? Yeah. But it's a house-made yeast roll stuffed with savory fillings. I mean, that sounds fantastic to me. I want
these are just Hot Pockets, but fancy Hot Pockets,
better Hot Pockets.
I'm not hating on that by any means. Like I like a good Hot Pocket.
Yeah, so. I mean, you don't even need that little sleeve to make it, you know, nice and crispy.
Yeah,
and they got some other stuff there too. So I'll be interested to see what the menus are going to look like there. But those are really the two things I wanted to mention there.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's enough. Like, you know, a new restaurant opening and a replacement for Disney Quest, because you know, I know maybe somebody went to the NBA experience. I'm sure we've had listeners
who went there.
Yeah, I mean, I know somebody somewhere was excited about it, but it just
it's a different building though. Even it's a different building. It's not even that same building.
Yeah, I know, so like, but I feel like it, like that just didn't fit. And I think I'm hopeful that Level 99 will at least bring back whatever that fun was of Disney Quest, that like it made Disney Springs like just a little bit extra.
Yeah.
Right. Like, yeah.
Hey, honestly, I felt that way when they had the VR thing there too. Like
yes. You're right. It I think that's been the problem, is that like since the Void left, like there hasn't been anything like that.
That's like super wacky and like
well, just some out of the ordinary entertainment is really all it is. It's like I know there's a movie theater and stuff there, but it's like, give me just something a little bit extra, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And I feel like these things will definitely bring that.
Yeah. So last but not least, Trevor, we got a little bit of Disneyland stuff. And you remember that time 2 years ago when we talked about the fact that Autopia was going to be replacing the gas-powered vehicles with electric vehicles?
Oh, you mean one of our reckless speculation things that
well, no, they actually announced it. No, they announced it. It was a real announcement that happened 2 years ago. Well, now it's actually happening. Yeah, it was. They announced it. It was a real announcement.
I could have sworn it was a rumor at the time, but
it might have been. We might have discussed it as rumor, and then after they announced it, confirmed it. But they said this in 2024. They said it would be done by fall of 2026. Looking like it's going to be the beginning of 2027 now, but it is happening. They are doing it, and all I have to say is, sounds good to me. Now, when are you going to do it at Tomorrowland, Speedway, and Disneyland? Disney World? Like that's next. Like, do that.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I feel like this has become one of those things. Like you said, you know, we've been talking about for years, and it's like when it happens, when it does finally happen, and I feel like it's going to happen with the Autopia, and then it will happen in Disney World. Like, I can't imagine it not happening. But it's weirdly turned into one of these things where it's not going to be like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. You know, the ride's so much better. It's going to be like, finally, what took you so long?
Yeah, I actually, it's funny. I read an article about this on one of the tech blogs that I frequent, and they had posted about this, and they said they were talking about how are electric vehicles even tomorrow, like fitting into Tomorrowland anymore, because they're commonplace now, right? So it's like it's not really a futuristic thing anymore, but at the same time, it's a thing they should do, and they should have done it a long time ago. And I would fully expect them to do this in Disney World too. I mean, if they're designing the cars from, and testing them and all that, why can't they just port that to Disney World? It's the same thing. Just make more of the cars and move them there. Like, it's not, you know what I mean? It's not that difficult of a thing to do in my mind. But, I also wonder though too, it would be amazing not to hear that just insanely loud noise coming from Tomorrowland Speedway of all the engines. Like, can you imagine just walking through there and not hearing that? It almost would feel weird.
Well, but so here's the interesting thing about that is I feel, or electric cars are not completely silent.
That's true.
So you're not going to it's not going to be that lawnmower sound. But I think you're going to hear more of like a word, like a beat sound. So
but it's at least you'll barely hear it though. Like I feel like every time I walk through Tomorrowland and I walk by that attraction, it's like like there's 40 landscapers outside my door at the same time.
It's that whole section next to Space Mountain and kind of curving around to Cosmic Rays, right? Like that's the entirety of that area, and I'll be honest, I never really thought about it, but now that you bring it up, it's like usually I'm not stopping at that area because I'm usually trying to I'm going from like the People Mover to Fantasyland or something. So I'm not stopping there long enough to be like, man, this sucks and man, this is noisy. But also I think about too, waiting in line for the ride, like when it's really hot and those fumes are coming off that ride, it's bad. Yeah. And I mean, you're right. It's a lot of things that, it'll take away a lot of the, even though I know that the gas powered vehicles they're not overtly polluting, but they're still it's archaic, it's inefficient, it's noisy,
it's smelly.
It's going to take away a lot of that. And I agree with you to that point. It's like, hey, you could actually stand there and just enjoy, the cars going by on the speedway without it. Like you said, feeling like there's a lawnmower running.
I know there's 40 lawnmowers at once. Yeah. And then, multiple leaf blowers as well. I mean, it is really interesting because it's, if you look at just the Autopia attraction and Tomorrowland Speedway, Autopia made a lot of sense in the 50s, right? Because the highway system was a novel concept at that point, right? It was not, it was a new thing, right? So it was really the future, right? Like the highways were just starting to be built then, right? But now it's just it's almost weird that it's why do we just have this driving this, driving your own car attraction in Tomorrowland? We've had highways for a long time now.
So I get what you're saying with that, but I guess the way I've always looked at it is it's a means of there's the proposing highway traffic and all that, but it was also a way to introduce kids to that concept and I guess the way I've always looked at it is, when I was a kid, it was like, oh my gosh, you mean I get to drive my own car? That's amazing. And even now, with my son, it was the same thing. It was the first, I think the first time we got on the Autopia in Disneyland, he wasn't quite big enough to hit the pedal. So, it was me sitting there, he was, him sitting next to me and kind of figuring it out. But then the next time we went, he was big enough, but he still needed my help to hit the gas because he couldn't quite get his foot down on it. But then he was driving and that. I feel I get that. The magic of the Tomorrowland Speedway and the Autopia, and I don't. That's why I don't ever want to actually see it go away.
I get that,
but I get once they get them to electric vehicles, it'll be a better experience for everybody. But then I think it still has merits there, as it is in Disney World and Disneyland. You still need kiddie rides, right?
Yeah.
Like not everything has to be like a blockbuster. Like this is the most technology advanced ride and super impressive. It's like, just let kids drive cars. Like that's fine.
Ironically, Hong Kong Disneyland's version of Autopia used electric cars up until it closed 10 years ago. So like literally they had been using electric cars from the time they had Autopia.
They phased it out for something else because it just wasn't popular.
Well, because there's very limited space in Hong Kong. So they have to kind of get rid of things for that. But it's just funny that they had it for, a long time. And now it's finally making its way here. And I listen, like I said, I think it's great. I really hope they do it in Disney World too, because I think, and I don't know if anybody's really gonna be upset about not hearing that insanely loud noise and smelling those fumes anymore. I feel like I just can't imagine anybody being upset about that. I don't know.
It has a weird place in my head where it's like I can hear it right now. Like I'm thinking about it.
I'm hearing it right now. Yeah, and smelling.
Like I can hear it, and I think about those really hot days where it's like, it's a negative, but then there's also other times where like I'm happy to hear it, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
like
that's what I'm saying. It's gonna be weird if they ever do it and I walk through there and I just don't hear it anymore. It's like, but at the same time, I'm sure Disney really does want to do this because they really take a lot of care in the background music and what you're hearing, what you're seeing at every point. And I'm sure it probably drives some Imagineers a little crazy that when you go over there, it's just every sound is drowned out by that insanely loud noise coming from the speedway. And it's just, and so I'm sure they would love to be able to replace that with some sort of background music that makes sense for the area. So I don't know.
Yeah, you would actually be able to hear the proper transition from Tomorrowland into the Tron area.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly.
Because right now you're in Tomorrowland, but then it's car noise and then Tron.
Tron, yeah. Okay. Well, this is great. But let's wrap it up, Trevor.
Yeah. Okay. So, lots of interesting stuff I think we talked about today.
I agree.
So, if you have your own thoughts on anything we talked about, if you want to share your own takes or you have questions or other things you want us to talk about on the show, you can always send us an email at welcomehomepodcast@gmail.com. We love hearing from you guys. Also, you can go through our website, which is welcomehomepodcast.co. There's the contact us section in there. And then just also, check out the website because it is a way to get to the episodes. We also have the store in there. I'll mention the store in a minute, but you can get to the store through the website. But also other places to get a hold of us. You can find us on Facebook as Welcome Home Podcast. You can find us on YouTube as Welcome Home Podcast. You can find us on Instagram as Welcome Home Pics. So, check us out in any of those places. Whenever we do video episodes, we are, you can watch those on YouTube. So you don't just have to listen to us. You can also, watch episodes like we did, the Dapper Danielle interview a little while back. We're going to have more stuff like that coming in the future. So, probably a good idea to subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And then, like I said, earlier, if you want to help support the show, you can go to our store, which you can hit through the website, or you can go straight to the store, which is store.welcomehomepodcast.co. You can check out our different merch there. And if you don't see something on the website that you or on the store that you think we should have, or if you are looking for a particular type of merch, send us a message. We can add stuff to the store. So just let us know what you want to see in there. Also, if you want to help support us through Patreon, you can check out our Patreon at patreon.com/welcomehomepod and see our different levels of Patreon support, which come with exclusive merch that you can only get through Patreon. And all of our Patreon supporters get access to the Discord server, which, as we've mentioned, is yet another place that we have great conversations with our listeners. We talk about stuff from the show. We talk about random things. Sometimes it's just people planning their next Disney cruise, and getting bad, not bad advice, but getting encouraged by other people to book things and whatnot, which is always funny to watch. So yeah, come check us out there if you're interested. And last but not least, if you're listening on iTunes or Spotify or anywhere else that you can leave us a 5-star review, please do so, because it just helps more people find the show.
Yeah, the other thing you can do is subscribe to the show, to the podcast, I guess I should say. So you can be reminded every time we release a new episode, and you can, hear when I forget to edit out mistakes, and that way you'll get it auto downloaded. You'll have to hear the original version, not like when I edit stuff out later. But anyway, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, TuneIn, Spotify, YouTube Music, just about any podcast app that's out there. You can find us. Huge thank you to our sponsor, DVC Rental Store, for sponsoring this episode, and Keyholder Vacations for being great friends and sponsors of the show for a long time. So please check them out for all your DVC needs. Join us next time for more Disney Parks discussion. Of course, more DVC talk. We hope to see you all real soon.
This is Skipper Albert Awol, the voice of the jungle, signing off from Welcome Home Podcast on the DVC. To a house when we had a child, how she can cuddle, she's no man's affair. I look around for all the home, found her in her sugar bowl. Hey, look out, here comes my